All right, guys, I just want to do a real quick recap video on the 5 days of knife making project. Kind of go over a few little things, what I've learned, some of the questions you guys have had. And first, let's just take a look at some of the blades. So Monday, we made a bird and trout knife. Tuesday, we made a tanto, and then also a mini tanto. Wednesday, we made this sheep's foot EDC fixed blade, like this little knife here. Thursday, we did the dagger. And then Friday, we did a jump knife. So the biggest thing I found with this entire project was my grinding has gotten a lot better in 5 days. It reminds me of when I used to ski as a child. We skied all the time, and I go skiing every single weekend in the wintertime. And even with that, when we would take our week-long holidays to Montana to go skiing, it's amazing how much progression you can make in that week doing it every single day over and over again. And just the muscle memory and stuff gets so much better. Well, I found the exact same thing with grinding. As a full-time knife maker, I don't grind knives every day. Some days I'll do like 2 or 3 knives and just kind of grind them away, and then the rest of the week is finishing those blades off with handles, sheaths, shipping them off, mailing them, and all this other stuff. But I've never actually ground knives 5 days in a row, and I feel at the end of this, my grinding skills have become significantly improved. So one comment I get all the time, people email me, people leave comments all over, and they just want to know, how do you get better at grinding? I'm pretty sure all knife makers that are getting good at their grinding will tell you it's just a matter of time and doing it over and over and over again. That, I think, is the key to grinding a bevel really well, is you just have to practice, practice, practice. Another question you guys have asked a lot is what I'm going to do with these knives. This one I know for sure I will not sell and I will not produce again until I can find out whether it's actually legal or not. I've had a lot of people comment that these are illegal to own in Canada. I certainly hope that's not the case. That's not my intention to do anything illegal at all. I'd really wanted to make a push dagger, but I did a little research before building it and found very clearly that those ones are illegal, so I opted not to make that knife. But a lot of people also suggest like a balisong or a butterfly knife. Those are illegal in Canada all day long. So anyways, this here I'm not selling. I'll probably just put this in a display case. I'll call this a theatrical prop. I know you can go down to markets in Canada and buy swords. You can buy double-edged throwing knives. So I honestly don't understand how. I can see maybe if you're carrying this around, like, what's the purpose of a knife like this? Well, it's for fighting. It's for stabbing. So there's really no practical reason to have this on your belt and carry a knife like this. For that reason, I'm just going to put this on display, decorate the office or something with it. It might be kind of cool. I have plans to build more of these knives. I really enjoy the shape of this one. Had a lot of good suggestions of maybe blackening the blade, putting some texture, some type of a G10 with some liners. Fantastic ideas. So I'm going to get some slightly thinner stock and do more of these knives. I really like this one. The sheep's foot EDC, I've had a lot of requests. People want to buy this knife, and I'm going to be making more as well. Also, any knife that I do end up selling, I'll be putting on my website. And if you'd like to be first in on it, you can go to my website, homesteadknives.com, and sign up for a newsletter. And as soon as I list a new product, you will get notification. Now, it's not going to be spamming like crazy, because typically there are not a lot of new products going up on the website. A lot of the knives I do are commission pieces, custom orders and stuff. But if you'd like to know when I put these knives that I make on my website, if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get an email right away saying that this one's been listed, and you can jump in on it rather than having to check. Just an idea if you'd like to know when all these go for sale. But other than that, I will be making more of these, and also be doing some of these in stainless steel. This little tanto knife had a lot of positive feedback from you guys. I really like it. This one I actually gave to my son. My little guy is 4 years old, and when he saw this knife, he freaked. You made a knife for me! And he was so excited about it that I couldn't say no. So this is his knife, and even though he's 4, he certainly doesn't get to have it. He calls it his, and we're just going to keep it around until he's much older and he could actually safely handle a knife like this. But I'm going to be making more of these ones as well, get some better material for it, some slightly thinner, narrower stock, and definitely clean up this line a bit. But I really, really like this little knife. The tanto, I'll definitely be making more of these. Really like this carbon fiber, but I need a better ventilation system because this stuff is significantly worse to work with than like G10 and micarta or wood. Definitely going to be making more of these knives. I really, really like the way this one came out. And then the bird and trout, I think this is kind of a cool blade. Maybe I'd like, again, slightly thinner stock on this one, slightly thinner material. It's a little thick, this 3/16, but that's one of the benefits too about making all these knives, is that every single day I wanted to make a knife that was slightly different. And to really learn how to build a useful knife. I mean, you can build knives that look great, that are finished well, but there's also a very important part of knife making that is often overlooked, is how it actually functions, how it actually cuts, how it actually feels in your hand. And Projects like this, when you just go and make a whole bunch of different knives, you really start to learn little tiny nuances of knife design and say, okay, this part of this knife really feels great, or this part feels terrible. I love this blade, it looks awesome, but for some reason it just doesn't do this task well. You learn all those things when you try all these different knives. And one thing I've always wanted to be careful of as a knife maker is not to fall in a pattern of making the same style of knife. I guess there's some people that have fantastic careers, they make an excellent living, and they'll literally just laser cut batch of 100 blades, or they'll make only one knife. And that's totally fine. That's great. If that's how they want to do it, more power to them, and they still make absolutely fantastic knives. The one thought process behind that is that if you are making the same knife over and over and over again, eventually those knives are going to become incredibly well made, and the quality and everything about them is just going to get progressively better. However, I think I get really, really bored. If I ever do a batch of like 5 of the same knives at once, oh my goodness, I'm just bored out of my mind. So that's what I really enjoy about this project here, is there's always something different and kind of and figuring it all out. Also, at least one of these knives will probably be part of a giveaway. I've always done giveaways on this channel. It's kind of right from the beginning. I think I did my first one when I had like 283 subscribers. I said when we reach 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a knife. We did that. I've given away other knives on this channel. And so we're coming up close to 100,000 subscribers, and I'm not sure when we'll get there, but I'm going to do another giveaway. I'd like it to be pretty awesome, and I don't know. It'd be hard for me to part with this knife, but I think this would also be a pretty awesome giveaway knife. I'm not sure. Now, this project was way more work than I'd ever imagined it would be. Most days I was editing videos till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd usually get started back out here about 9 o'clock a.m. And I would literally go in for lunch, have lunch, and leave. I'd have supper and leave. And a few nights the kids ended up going to bed before I came in and tucked them in. And it was just such an incredible, intense rush and fantastically exhausting, this entire project. Now, would I do this again? Yes and no. Yes, in the fact that I really enjoyed the challenge of getting up every day and making a knife and filming it. Definitely the bigger part of the work in the shop here was the filming. There were days, I was trying to get different camera angles for everything, but when you make a knife and you pretty much do the exact same process 5 days in a row, you really have to be creative. I should have actually taken some photos of some of the camera rigs that I had set up. There's one time where I had my camera, I had to move a bunch of stuff off of a shelf. I had a string holding a tripod leg, a 2x4 and another tripod leg, and it was like my 70-200 f2.8 IS lens up there. That's like a $2,000 lens, and it was pretty precarious, but you need a slightly different shot. I want to be able to get good images, good video that shows you what's going on. It's so easy just to strap a GoPro to your chest or your head, or just stick it on a tripod and jam it right in there. But I wanted to kind of up the ante a little bit and get some slightly better quality footage. So that was probably the biggest challenge of this, was the actual filming. It's easy to make a knife a day. That's not that hard. You can make a knife start to finish in 8 hours. But to get it filmed, and then the editing was about 4 hours a day. But it was a lot of fun. One of the things that made this the most enjoyable for me was the interaction, the feedback I had from you guys. So I sincerely thank you so much for all of your support. It's just been a fantastic project. So I'm going to take the next few days and start going through all the comments on these videos. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can, especially the ones that pertain to specific information that would help you as a knife maker, or if you ask the specific thing like what was this or what kind of materials with, especially that stuff I'm going to try and get back to. I sincerely appreciate all the comments, all your feedback and suggestions, and like I had said in the previous video, I've got a lot of ideas for new future knife videos. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this series. I certainly did. It was a blast. Much thanks to you. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.